This presentation discusses strategies for teaching students with special needs in inclusive classrooms, including an overview of the categories of disabilities teachers may encounter, legislation affecting special education, and instructional strategies like universal design to reach all learners, as well as touching upon behavioral management techniques. The Individuals with Disabilities Education Act, IDEA, ensures that all students with disabilities receive a free, appropriate public education, FAPE or FAPE. It requires that students with disabilities be educated alongside their non-disabled peers as much as possible, and mandates local school districts to identify and assess any child that's suspected of having a disability. IEP process: comprehensive individual evaluation by teacher, eligibility determination, IEP development, review and revise, re-evaluate with continuous monitoring. After evaluation, a meeting called an eligibility staffing is held. Parents and the team discuss the student's educational strengths and needs based on the evaluation. The team then decides if the child qualifies for Exceptional Student Education, ESE, services, which requires meeting criteria of Florida's State Board of Education rules. This process is known as identification. Let's translate these mandates into practical use in the mainstream classroom strategies. The thing to remember is that diversity is the norm, not the exception. You, as the classroom teacher, are the first line of observation and recognition. You may find that some students may already have IEPs, individual education plans, as their disability may have already been determined. Others will not. One of the most important roles of a teacher is to observe students that may have a learning disability. Currently, there are 13 categories of disabilities: autism, deaf and blind, developmental delay, emotional disability, hearing impairment, intellectual disability, orthopedic impairment, other health impairment, specific learning disability, speech or language impairment, traumatic brain injury, and visual impairment, including blindness. When working with students with disabilities, key elements to consider include individual learning plans, accessible learning environments, differentiated instruction, clear communication, positive reinforcement, collaboration with support staff, frequent assessment, addressing sensory needs, fostering independence, and promoting social inclusion. Strategies include creating personalized learning goals, providing visual aids, using assistive technology, breaking down tasks, offering choices, and building positive relations with students and their families. A teacher must address the students' disabilities by making sure that they are provided a strong sense of belonging, they are offered a welcoming and accepting classroom, and that they are psychologically safe. To accomplish this, a teacher must promote active listening, must encourage participation, must actively work to combat biases, must focus on boosting and maintaining student motivation. Students with learning disabilities may exhibit behavioral or emotional reactions like frustration, aggression, withdrawal, anxiety, low self esteem, difficulty managing impulses, and increased sensitivity to criticism, often stemming from the challenges they face in the academic tasks and the resulting feelings of inadequacy or frustration within their own abilities. Externalizing behaviors. This can manifest as acting out, aggression, defiance towards teachers, disruptive classroom behavior, or impulsivity, sometimes a way to cope with academic stress. Internalizing behaviors. These can include depression, anxiety, social withdrawal, excessive self-doubt, often arising from feelings of being unable to keep up with peers or complete assignments. An individualized education program, an IEP, is a written plan that outlines the student's educational needs and how to support them in succeeding in school. IEPs are free for students in public schools with disabilities who qualify for Exceptional Student Education, ESE, services. An IEP includes the student's current educational performance, goals for the students, the special education, and related services. IEPs are developed by a team that includes the student, family members, general education teachers, special education teachers, interpreters, school system representatives, individuals with special expertise, and transition service agencies. The IEP process involves assessing the student's abilities and needs, discussing and establishing the goals, writing the IEP, having the meeting to review the draft, negotiating with the school about the IEP. IEPs help students with disabilities receive specialized instruction and related services so that they can reach their full potential. Differentiated instruction is a teaching method where teachers adjust their instruction to cater to the diverse learning needs, strengths, and interests of individual students within a classroom, allowing them access to the same learning goals through varied approaches and activities depending on their abilities and preferred learning styles. Essentially, tailoring instruction to meet each student's unique needs. Key aspects of clear communication for students with disabilities. Simple language. Break down complex concepts into smaller and easily understandable parts. Direct communication. Speak directly to the student, not around them or through a caregiver. Visual aids. Utilize pictures, diagrams, charts, or other visual representations to support understanding. Active listening. Pay close attention to the student's verbal and nonverbal cues and ask clarifying questions if needed. Positive reinforcement. Offer positive feedback and encouragement to promote confidence. Respectful language. Refer to the student first, then their disability if relevant. Flexible approach. Be adaptable to different learning styles and communication needs. Here are 5 advantages of positive reinforcement in special needs education. 1. It can increase the frequency of the desired behaviors. When students with special needs receive positive support for engaging in the desired behavior, they are more likely to repeat it. 2. It can improve social skills. For example, when a student with special needs receives positive feedback for their social interactions, they may be more likely to initiate social interactions with their peers. 3. It can increase self-esteem and self-confidence. When students with special needs receive consistent reinforcements for their efforts and successes, they may develop a greater sense of self-worth and confidence. 4. It can improve focus and attention. With positive reinforcement for concentration and focus, students may be more likely to remain on task and less likely to be distracted. 5. It can facilitate learning. When students receive rewards for their academic efforts, they may be more motivated to learn and engage in academic tasks, which can lead to increased academic success. To promote independence in students with disabilities, educators can provide choices and opportunities for self-advocacy, break down tasks into smaller steps, establish routines, encourage problem-solving skills, teach positive decision-making, and offer appropriate support while gradually fading assistance as the student becomes more capable, ensuring that they feel empowered to navigate their learning and daily tasks independently. Strategies to implement. The following slides will show you strategies that you can utilize with students that have varying disabilities. Assistive reading devices can consist of things like screen readers, magnifying applications, text-to-speech synthesizers, speech recognition software, closed captioning services, keyboard filters, electronic pointing devices, pencil grips, hearing aids, large print books. Adaptive keyboards can also be used by people with disabilities for different needs. For someone with motor impairments, an adaptive keyboard would have raised the areas between the keys, making it easier to find and press keys. As you can see, some visual aids to assist learners with a disability are visual aids, using pictures, diagrams, and graphic organizers to support comprehension. Here's a summary of the key points about communication tools for individuals with learning disabilities. Types of communication tools. 1. Visual supports. Use pictures, icons, or symbols to represent words and concepts. 2. Communication boards. Boards with symbols or pictures that individuals can point to for expressing needs or thoughts. 3. PECS, or Picture Exchange Communication System, a structured approach where individuals exchange pictures to convey messages. 4. Make-a-ton, combines symbols, signs, and speech to aid communication. 5. Easy-to-read materials, simplified information with clear language and visuals for accessibility. 6. Text-to-speech software, reads text aloud to help users access written content. 7. Talking devices, devices that produce pre-recorded or inputted speech to assist communication. 8. AAC, augmentative and alternative communication devices. They're advanced tools like voice output devices that are tailored for individual needs. Be sure to maintain consistent symbols and strategies across various settings to improve comprehension. Here are some examples of assistive technology for vision and hearing. Hearing aids. They amplify sound so people with hearing impairments can communicate more effectively. Cochlear implants, surgically implanted devices that convert sound waves into electrical signals to stimulate the auditory nerve. Frequency modulation, FM systems. They reduce the background noise and amplify the teacher's voice in a classroom. Assisted listening devices, ALDs, amplify sounds and reduce background noise to help people hear more clearly. Alerting devices uses amplified sounds, visual cues, and vibrations to alert people to sounds in their environment. Infrared systems use light waves to send sounds across a room. Personal amplifiers, smartphone-sized devices that amplify sound and decrease background noise. Induction loop systems use electromagnetic energy to transmit sound from an amplifier through a loop of wire. Visual technologies, large print books, books with enlarged text for individuals with visual impairments. Reading stands, tools that hold books or materials at an optimal angle for individuals. Digital audio recorders, devices that record audio, allowing individuals with visual impairments to capture and replay information. Electronic magnification aids, digital tools that provide magnification for reading or viewing tasks for those with visual impairments. Low vision lamps, lighting designed to enhance visibility for individuals. Magnifiers, devices that enlarge text or images for individuals with visual impairments. All of the assistive devices we have described already will help with improving academics. Some of the devices mentioned are very expensive. Florida has several lending libraries where these devices may be loaned to public school students. FAST, F-A-A-S-T, the Florida Alliance for Assistive Services and Technologies, believes it's important to match people with the assistive technology device that fits their needs. Through their device loan program, you can try out the device to get a feel for how it benefits you on a daily basis. Send an email to info@FAAST. The address is above. The Assistive Technology and Universal Design for Learning Loan Library. The assistive technologies available in this library can be used to identify which technologies will best support students with disabilities and progress in Florida's BEST standards curriculum. Updated loan guidance. The loan periods are for a 4 or 6 week period. Devices will only be shipped to a school address. Prior to the shipping, all devices will be sanitized. To contact them, email tlc.mtss@gmail.com. That address is also above. Please be aware that at this time we can only lend devices to individuals in the state of Florida. A sensory break in school is a scheduled period that allows a child to reduce the sensory overload from the classroom environment. It provides opportunities for movement or deep pressure input, helping improve focus, attention, and learning. However, a teacher must be alert to when they can see that one of their students is experiencing a sensory overload prior to or post the scheduled period to allow the child to unwind. So it's the teacher's job to make sure they have a good handle on their students' abilities. Peer tutoring is a teaching strategy where students work in pairs or small groups to support each other's learning. The goal is to help students develop critical thinking and active learning skills by teaching them how to find answers on their own. Peer tutoring can be used for a variety of skills, including academic, social, functional, and behavioral. Some approaches to peer tutoring include a fixed role, where a higher performing student is paired with a lower performing student to review academic or behavioral concepts. A reciprocal role, where students take turns being the tutor and the tutee. The teacher can choose the best model for their students and train them to be peer tutors. Key strategies for adapting assignments: presentation format, a larger font size, increase the text size on the printed materials for students with visual impairments, digital text, provide assignments electronically to allow for text magnification and accessibility features, audio versions, offer audio recordings of assignments for students with reading difficulties. Visual aids, utilize graphics, diagrams, and pictures to support understanding. Simplified language, use clear and concise language, avoiding jargon. Task complexity, break down the tasks. Divide complex assignments into smaller, manageable steps. Prioritizing key concepts. Focus on the essential learning objectives and reduce the unnecessary details. Choice of activities. Offer options for students to select assignments that align with their interests and abilities. Scaffolding. Provide structured support like outlines, prompts, or question stems to guide students through the task. Assessment methods. Alternative response formats. Allow students to respond through oral presentations, drawings, videos, or technology-based tools instead of traditional written tests. Scribe assistance. Provide a scribe to write down answers for students with physical limitations. Extended time. Grant additional time to complete assignments for students who need it. Flexible deadlines. Allow students to submit assignments on a schedule that fits their needs. Peer review. Encourage peer feedback to provide additional support and perspective. Accommodations for specific disabilities. Learning disabilities. Provide clear instruction, visual organizers, and opportunities for frequent breaks. Visual impairments. Use large print, screen readers, and tactile materials. Hearing impairments. Offer captioned videos, sign language interpretation, and written transcripts. Mobility impairments. Provide accessible seating and alternative methods for completing assignments. Important considerations: an individualized approach. Adapt assignments based on each student's specific needs and consult with their IEP, Individualized Education Plan. Collaboration with parents and guardians. Communicate regularly with parents to ensure they understand the accommodations provided and to discuss any additional support needed. Professional development. Teachers should seek training on effective strategies for supporting students with disabilities. supports, modifications, and accommodations for students, adapted equipment such as special seat or cutout cup for drinking, assisted technology such as a word processor, the Center for Parent Information Resources, adapting activities for young children with disabilities. Activity adaptations use gestures, pictures, or objects for children who need more than just speech. Use natural cues if possible. Listen to audio recordings instead of reading text. Learn content from audiobooks, movies, videos, and digital media instead of reading. During the lesson, provide visuals via the board or overhead. Use flashcards. Have the students close his eyes and try to visualize the information. Have the students take notes and use colored markers to highlight. Teach acronyms to help visualize lists. Like BAM. That means I need to buy bread, apples, and meat. Ways to make yourself remember a list. And be sure to give explanations in small, distinct steps. Why is parent involvement important in an IEP? First of all, it ensures a child-centered approach. The parent's unique perspective on their child's needs can lead to a more personalized IEP. Second, it promotes collaboration. A strong partnership between parents and school staff can enhance communication and support for the child. Third, it empowers parents. Active participation in the IEP process allows parents to feel informed and capable of advocating for their child. Regularly updating a parent on their child's progress and involving them in their learning process is essential to the child's development. Universal design in education refers to creating learning environments and materials that are accessible and effective for all students, regardless of their abilities or disabilities. It involves designing curriculum, instruction, assessments that accommodate the diverse learning styles and needs, and ensuring that every student has an equal opportunity to succeed. Teaching students with disabilities requires a thoughtful and inclusive approach that recognizes and addresses their unique needs. By implementing strategies like positive reinforcement, sensory breaks, and universal design in education, educators can create supportive learning environments that foster growth and success. Continuous assessment and data-driven decision-making are essential to tailor instruction and ensure that each student receives the appropriate support. Ultimately, the goal is to empower students with disabilities to achieve their full potential alongside their peers.